Hello, I'm Andy Atkins, Director of A Rocha UK, and I'd like to take a few minutes just to explain to you who we are, what we do, why we do it, and how you can join in. Now, none of us need telling, do we, that the environment is in big trouble. We hear about climate change, we hear about nature loss, we hear about pollution, marine plastic. We hear about these things so often. We all know that nature and the climate is in deep trouble. But there is hope. We believe there are many, many solutions out there. If people cause this problem, people can solve it. But we also believe that as Christians and as the church, we have a God-given role, a mandate, if you like, to respond to this. Deeply embedded in the Bible, from the very first chapter to the very last chapter, is the idea of God as a creator God who has created the beauty we see around us. And we believe we have a responsibility as Christians and as part of his creation to share it with the rest of creation, and as an act of worship to him, not to creation, to him, to help care for the rest of creation. Now, A Rocha itself started out about 20 years ago now as a local environmental project in the UK, restoring patches of local land that were in a terrible state. Dave and Anne Bookless, who many of you will have heard of, led a big project to restore Minette Country Park nearby. We got very well known for that locally. Where I am now is called Wolf Fields. This was an abandoned allotment. When we started work on here a few years ago, we cleared 54 tons of rubble off this site and have now restored it into a beautiful little oasis in the heart of a very deprived area. We have an orchard that I'm standing in. We have beehives, we have bird boxes, we have a pond here now, we have a wildflower meadow, etc., etc. It's a beautiful place for nature and the local community to come and be blessed by God's creation. But we have now gone much more national, if you like, based on the experience we had of restoring land locally. And we now work in 4 programs, all towards one big vision, and that's the vision to mobilize Christians and churches in this country to care for God's creation, for God, for nature, and for people. So our vision is that the church nationally is mobilized to have a huge impact on this environmental crisis. As I say, we do it in 4 ways. The first way is by restoring land, and we now have what we call a Partners in Action network of Christian charities, of Christian conference centres, activity centres, centres with land, and we work with them to manage that land for nature and to cut carbon. Our own reserves are part of that network, so there's Wolf Fields where I am now, and in Essex we have a very rural reserve called Foxearth Meadows. The second thing we do is work with churches to help them really understand why they should care for creation and then to do it. So the program is a toolkit that helps with everything from preaching to cutting carbon to managing the churchyard for nature to the impact and the engagement that the church has with environment and with others working on the environment locally. So that's the Eco Church program. We already have almost 3,000 members of that, but our vision is to get up to 4,000, which would be 10% of churches in England and Wales in the next couple of years. That would be a very significant step forward, and after that I think it would become much more normal that churches across the country believe and are helped to do this as a normal part of their discipleship. Now, the third way we work is helping individuals and families. It's hard, isn't it, sometimes to know what you can do. You can be aware of a problem but think, yes, but what can I do that will make a difference? So we now have the Wild Christian program, which is an online community of individuals and families working together to try out things, see what works, exchange ideas, exchange biblical reflections to encourage each other and to make a difference in our own homes, in our own community, and own street. And then the last thing we do is to support Christians in environmental leadership across government, across business, across charities. There are lots of Christians who are passionate about the environment, even if their particular organisation or their role is not necessarily to do with the environment. So we really want to support Christians that are in a position to have an influence, and we do that by running conferences, by organising a private prayer forum to support them, and so on. Now, those are just 4 ways we work at the moment, but together with our volunteers we believe we're having a very big impact, and there's virtually no end to the impact we can have if more people join us. We're a small organisation, we only have 15 staff, But by the time you add in dozens and dozens of volunteers who are working to preach in churches on a Sunday, run stalls for us, edit the magazine, manage this reserve and others. Actually, we are dozens and dozens of people working on this together. If you want to be a part of that, if we could provide a place for you to contribute your gifts, please get in touch. It's not just about us telling you what to do. No, it's something we can do together. So please get in touch with us if you feel you've got something to contribute by way of volunteering. Another important way that you can help us is through the gift of whatever money you feel God would be calling upon you to help us with. We don't get any government money. We survive entirely off donations from individuals and a few generous trusts, and of course many churches. If you would like to become a mission church, if you as an individual would like to make a one-off donation or to support us regularly, again, please get in touch. This work we are doing is work we're doing together, and our desire is for Christians and churches to share whatever they feel they can share so that we together can help restore God's creation in this country. Please just go on our website. You can join Eco Church there, you can join Wild Christian there, you can get a range of free material that would interest you, and we suggest many different ways that you can give depending upon your needs and your preferences. Lastly, I want to wish you well in everything you're doing, whether it's in your home, in your church, in your local community, and if we can help each other to do that better, that would be a big answer to A Rocha's collective prayer to see Christians and churches in this country mobilized to care for God's creation, for God, for people, for nature. Thank you.